Hello and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live from our studios at Kukumimle Joy99.7 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are live on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including KTU Radio, Kufredria, Bewa Radio, Yendi, Gaskia FM, Tichiman, and Jata FM, Karaga. You can download the My Joy Online app from the Play Store and App Store to listen live. And coming up, as the recruitment exercise for the Immigration Service comes to an end today, we ask, what will be the fate of the thousands who were not successful? As security experts warn, the country is sitting on a time bomb.
We are looking at a conglomeration of potential threats, and I think we are heading towards the tip. You see, when you have a country where the youth are willing and prepared to fight over access to public toilets, then it just shows you the scale of the problem.
Meanwhile, for some failed applicants considering entrepreneurship, startup capital is the major obstacle for them.
There are most of us we like doing business, but because of financial instability that we do have, we cannot enter.
Enterprise is something maybe a lot by money. So we all need some coins to start up something small.
Also, we'll tell you how a young entrepreneur overcame the odds of repaying his debt after a bank he owed locked up his office.
So the CEO called me. He said, why have you been coming to the bank or insisting that you work when you are not a staff? Then I told him that I have only one option. Either I confront destiny with violence and win, or go back home and die in my poverty.
We'll hear from Big Godwin Mate. Some health facilities deserted as Health Services Workers Union strike continues to bite, with scores of patients bearing the brunt of their action.
I thought I was coming to see the doctor as they've already given me a date. But when I came and I saw that nobody was around, I was shocked and I'm quite disappointed.
Actually, the hospital has become a ghost town. It's a very pathetic situation for all of us.
Also, the time to own a home is now, and the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is making it easy for you to get that home and all accessories at one spot, plus whopping discounts.
We have agreed with all our exhibitors that they should be able to offer discounts between 10 and 50% on their products and their goods and services.
More as all roads lead to the Accra International Conference Center today as the fair begins.
Here in Prom, the Ghana Football Association has become the country's first organized body to institute a no vaccination, no entry policy for its events. Details in 20 minutes.
We'll hear from Muftau Nabilan. And later, reigning Western Zonal champions Archbishop Porter Girls determined to sail through to the 1/8 stage of the ongoing National Science and Maths Quiz.
Throughout the contest, we realized that it's not just about saying it, it's much more about working harder to get the point.
Archbishop Porter Girls, Ave Maria, Ave Maria.
You want to stay for details? This is your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. I'm Arba Kumson. Thanks for your company. And in our first story, the first stage of enlistment into the Ghana Immigration Service is ending today, and for thousands of applicants, the journey has ended. Successful applicants will write an aptitude test on Friday. Only 2,000 will be recruited, leaving thousands on their own. For many, the unemployment situation presents a clear and present danger for the stability of the country. We'll hear from some security analysts on this, but first, some failed applicants in the ongoing exercise say startup capital is hard to come by as they consider starting their own businesses. According to them, that's the reason they've turned to the Immigration Service. Some of them who spoke with Joy News' Papani Ashale appeal for government support to start something on their own.
I'm hoping to think about something, but for now, no. But if I don't make it, why not?
So though you've not thought about anything, if you were to venture into entrepreneurship, where would you be going to? What would you be looking at?
I did a little bit of beauty, so I might major in it and then finally settle with something like that.
Being employed yourself is something nice. You get to calculate, manage your resources and everything. Maybe not being here. No, not doing some kind of attitude, basa. No, you get to know your things, you get to measure your things, calculate your money, everything. You have to go for this stuff this time. So even to Enterprise is something, maybe a lot. But money, you see, money, coins. So we all need some coins to start up something small.
But if you were to enter into it, what will we start from? What are your interests within the entrepreneurial space?
For now, I'll go with fishing, because fishing, let's say, day in, day out, everybody eats, everyone consumes foodstuffs, fishing, foods, a lot of things. So I'll go with fishing, then later come with products, cosmetics, hair products, the ladies, and then the guys too. Everyone wants to look good and fresh and live healthy.
There are most of us we like doing business, but because of financial instability that we do have, we cannot enter. So we have to consider ourselves into the employed rate, so that we can feed ourselves and then our family members when the time comes. So I think for the payroll, they should expand it, because there are a whole lot of people, they are unemployed and they do not have the money to start their own entrepreneurship. So I think the government should do something about it.
So you had there some applicants for the recruitment exercise for the immigration service. Well, for many who were not picked, it's simply because they did not meet the height requirement, or they had more than one piercing on their bodies and excessive stretch marks or tattooed skin. Also, those nature blessed with bow legs are also out. The strict condition, although strange to some, is receiving the endorsement of some security experts. Listen to Chief Superintendent in charge of intelligence with the Immigration Service, Alfred Fifi Okran.
There should be no piercing for males. Yes, that one will automatically disqualify you, because it's part of the standard that was set. For females, there should be one piercing. If it's more than one, will be disqualified. With tattoo, visibly will disqualify you, both male and female, because it's part of the standard. Uniform has our own language, and there are basic standards that we set. No tattoos, no double piercing or excessive, no excessive stretch marks, then scars. Surgical scars.
Well, the decision left hundreds disqualified, resulting in tears and anguish.
Please, I'm begging you.
Yeah, don't worry. Just give us a phone, okay?
No.
Stop crying. Very sad.
I couldn't meet the target with regards to the height.
So what will be the fate of the thousands who are not successful? Security experts have warned the country is sitting on a time bomb. Director, Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Professor Kwesi Enning, says government must act or face the consequences.
Badly educated, unemployed, increasingly unemployable, having access to smartphones and, of course, social media, where they can then have access to information, predominantly fake ones sometimes, but then also that gives them a certain conception of were I to migrate and move elsewhere, maybe it is much better out there. So we are looking at a conglomeration of potential threats, and I think we are heading towards the tipping. You see, when you have a country where the youth are willing and prepared to fight over access to public toilets and to tearing paper for those who are using those public toilets, and are seizing access to public transport yards, then it just shows you the scale of the problem.
And that was Director, Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Professor Kwesi Enning, speaking on the Super Morning Show. Now, it's common knowledge that money is the major challenge confronting entrepreneurs. So when the office of a young entrepreneur who owed a bank 600 cedis was locked up, the expectation was that he would throw his hands up in despair. But big Godwin Mate, who runs a software company, WebSoft Solutions, refused to succumb to the obstacle. Instead, he put on a shirt and tie and marched up to the bank to work there until his debt was paid. He's been sharing his story on the How to Do Business in Ghana series on the Super Morning Show.
Many years ago, my office was still at Fadama, Bombay, small office there. One day, I woke up and Eunice called me and said, "Sir, I'm out in the office, but they've locked the office." He checks it and mentioned the name of a bank. That I owed about 600 cedis or so. I've forgotten the exact amount. I went to the bank and I went to tell the manager there that you guys have come to lock my office. My computer is there. That's where I used to work. So at least come and open it. Let me take my computer so I can work to look for money for you. They said, once they have logged it, they can't open it except I pay. Then the thing had got to the MD. So the CEO called me. And I sat in front of him. He said, why have you been coming to the banking or insisting that you work when you are not a staff? And I told him that I have only one option. Either I confront destiny with violence and win, or go back home, defeated, unfulfilled, and die in my poverty. He looked at me and said he's afraid of my future. Okay.
So what did they agree in the end?
So they agreed that then they should open their office for me. So they came to open it. In the next 6 months to 8 months, that same bank that came to lock my office became my client. And I went to sit down to think about what can I even do for this same bank so that they themselves will pay for the debt and I still make more money from them.
So that's a big Godwin Mate. He's CEO of Websoft Solutions, sharing that inspiring story on the Super Morning Show. Let's turn our attention to health. And their strike is only 2 days old, but already patients are bearing the brunt of the industrial action. The suspension of service by the Health Services Workers Union is over their conditions of service, which they describe as poor. In the Ashanti region, healthcare delivery has come to a halt. Ohiminteria reports.
Health facilities have been reduced to ghost towns following the industrial action by health services workers. The usually busy outpatient departments are virtually empty, with no activities. There are no winding queues, just empty spaces. Few nurses idling around take time to speak to some patients caught up in the strike. Many patients had no prior information of the strike by members of the Health Services Workers Union. This woman brought her sick baby to the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, but was shocked to see this empty space.
I came for a review. My child had a surgery, so I came for a review today. Unfortunately, they are not around because I thought I was coming to see the doctor as they've already given me a date. But when I came and I saw that nobody was around, I was shocked. The place is always busy. So many chairs. You see the place busy, doctors going around, nurses working as usual. But today the place is empty and I'm quite disappointed.
The leadership of the Health Services Workers Union is satisfied with the high level of compliance by members. Douglas Kusi is the local branch chairman at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital.
Virtually the hospital has become a ghost town. In fact, if you come here every other day, I mean, how busy, especially where we are standing is. And if you look at today, then it means that it's a very pathetic situation, for all of us. But the question that probably you ask yourself is that who do you blame? Is it the Health Service Workers Union or government? And I'm sure your guess will be as good as mine. Because, we are giving government adequate notice. In fact, if you look at this, the reason why we are even on strike, in fact, the negotiations started since 2019. What has even pushed us to take this action is that we feel that we are being discriminated against. In fact, if you go around the hospital, it's not here alone, everywhere, activities have come to a halt. But I feel that it's very sad because as for sickness, all of us can fall sick at any point in time. But there's nothing that we can do about it for now.
Meanwhile, management of health facilities, including CARTS, say they have instituted measures to ensure patients with emergency needs receive care. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohiminteria reporting.
And here in Accra, the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, patients are desperately seeking medical attention. They want the issues addressed.
Did you chew? Into baby who doctor? But what about Hada?
Mama Hada.
Okay. Now, Uba Hana, the power, then I'm a catcher.
Mugashi, they are saying a card and a card.
So you are hearing from some of the folks here who have been operated on. Some of them are here for review, some of them are to start the entire surgical process. But it's been proving difficult to get to see.
And you heard Joy News' Michael Ashali speaking to some patients at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Now, police in the Ashanti region have referred husband of missing Lands Commission staff, Rodeling Amwa Darkon, for psychiatric examination because of inconsistencies in his statement. The police have released a statement. My colleague Elton Brobe joins us with details. What more does the statement say?
So, Araba, according to the statement, as part of investigations into the disappearance of Rodlin Amwadako, a staff of the Lands Commission in the Ashanti region, the police on Tuesday, October 26, 2021, secured a court order to refer the husband of Rodlin, Dr. Wilberforce Agri, for psychiatric examination due to some incoherent statement from him on the matter. Now, the statement said that it must be placed on record that as of today, the police have no evidence linking Dr. Agri to the disappearance of Rodlin. Investigations are still ongoing, and at this point, the police is unable to disclose any information to the public on the matter. The statement is also urging persons creating and circulating unconfirmed reports on this case to desist from the practice, since their actions can impede police investigation. The public, according to the statement, shall be fully updated on this issue once investigations are completed. And the police says that they are working tirelessly on this matter, and they are entreating persons with information concerning the case to either come to the police station, or they provided this short code 18555 or 191 to provide the information that they require to help them bring finality to this matter. And this statement is signed by Alexander Obem, who is the Director of Public Affairs at the Police Administration. All right, many thanks, Elton John Broby, with those details. Let's head to Parliament now, and the Volta caucus there has been addressing the media. They are demanding a retraction and an apology from President Akufo-Addo over his outburst in responding to the comment from the Aflao chief. Parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson is on the line, joins us with details. Parker, what more have the NDC MPs been saying?
All right, so the MPs have been saying that the comment by the Aflao chief should be commended. He should be applauded for making such comment, because at the time he prioritized education in the constituency. And so that response from the president really was inappropriate. They also indicated to us that there's pressure on them from their constituents and some chiefs within the Volta region to force the president apologize to the Aflao chief. And some of the things that they've been asking them to do is to boycott the president if he comes to parliament, together with the budget as well, and other government businesses when they submit them to the floor. So these are things they are considering. So should the president fail to apologize to the Aflao chief, then probably they will be forced to take some of these actions.
Ahead of the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League season.
We'll bring you that sound from the minority who addressed a press conference a while ago on in Parliament, demanding a retraction and apology from President Akufo-Addo over his outburst in responding to that comment from the Aflao chief. Still in Parliament, members of the Minority Caucus have charged the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, to initiate another probe into the allegations of electoral fraud perpetrated by the governing MPP during the 2020 general elections. They insist the probe will validate claims by former President Mahama that the Electoral Commission tampered with the outcome of the 2020 polls. The Commission, at a news conference, challenged former President Mahama to provide evidence to back his claim that about 1 million votes were thumbprinted in favor of the MPP during the 2020 polls. The NDC MPs say they are ready to assist the police in its probe. Here's MP for Lower Manya Krobo, Ebenezer Teilabi.
I'm sure if the dockets were properly kept, we still have them there. We have the culprits are known, and they can start whatever investigation. In any case, we are ready. We are ready. We are the NDC. We are ever ready to provide, whatever assistance that they think they will require from us. And I believe that this is a very nice opportunity for us, to expose all the rot that went on during the elections, especially, when it comes to the killing of the people in Tetima and various places.
Ebenezer Teilabi is MP for Lower Manya Krobo. And we stay on the NDC because later today on our social media politically incorrect show, State of Play, Evans Mensah and Raymond Akwa will serve us with a verdict on former President Mahama's claims that the 2020 election was rigged. Here's what to expect.
So on State of Play on Thursday, it's the John Mahama versus the Electoral Commission. But in reality, it is John Mahama versus Jean Mensah. True. So this fight is still about the 2020 elections. Yes. And the EC did a press conference just this week. 10 whole months after the elections, because John Mahama had punched them. What is our verdict on that? This verdict we're going to be delivering on State of Play. Yeah. And it is John Mahama versus Jim Mensah. JM versus JM. What is the verdict? The final verdict will be delivered on State of Play. So you want to tune in.
State of Play comes off at 2:30 p.m. and all our social media handles, including Facebook, make a date. Let's go back to that story where the Volta Caucus in Parliament is demanding a retraction and apology from President Kufuor over his outburst in responding to the comments by the Aflao chief. We can listen to MP Jifa Gomashi.
The president's conduct, which we do not see him exhibit against chiefs from other parts of the country, is a total affront to the entire Volta region and the Aflao traditional area in particular. We demand a retraction and apology from His Excellency the President. A united Ghana with a common destiny is undermined by such reckless and discriminatory conduct of the President. Going forward, I will be launching a GoFundMe account for donations to finish the e-blog as instructed by the President's infamous retort, and I entreat all Aplauvio and well-meaning Ghanaians to donate generously.
So that's MP for Ketu South, Jifa Gomashi there. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy99.7 FM. Our top story, as the recruitment exercise for the Immigration Service comes to an end today, we asked what the fate of the thousands who were not successful will be, and we heard from a security expert warning the country is sitting on a time bomb. Meanwhile, for some field applicants considering entrepreneurship, startup capital is the major obstacle for them. Still ahead in the bulletin, the time to own a home is now, and the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is making it easy for you to get that home and all the accessories at one spot, plus whopping discounts.
We have agreed with all our exhibitors that they should be able to offer discounts between 10 and 50% on their products and their goods and services.
Details after this break. You're welcome back to the Midday News. It's time for sports.
Ahead of the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League season kicking off tomorrow, President of the Ghana Football Association announced this at today's ongoing Congress.
Like I said earlier, we are engaging government to ensure that we have more fans accessing our games. But one of the key requirements, my colleagues, will be the need for all of us to ensure that we are vaccinated to be able to access football. So what that means is that all our players and staff will be vaccinated. Indeed, that process has started. And all football fans who would want to access our football games live at the various stadia must prove that they have received vaccination.
The no vaccination, no entry policy is a requirement for all fans attending games aged 12 or older. For spectators below age 12, they will be mandated to show proof of a negative rapid test from 48 hours before a match day. We also understand that the GFA are working to get the stadium attendance increased from the current 25% for this season.
That's Muftau Nabila with sports there. Now, after 3 mini clinics, the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is finally here for you to take advantage to either buy a land, build a home, or renovate your building now. Juicy offers and discounts await prospective homeowners who visit the Accra International Conference Center from today to Monday, the 1st of November. Here's a report capturing views of patrons and exhibitors who were at the mini clinics.
We know the housing situation in this country. We wish that every person in Ghana becomes a homeowner.
And that's why the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair has been designed just for you. Let's hear the verdict of patrons who visited the mini clinics.
I'm already bidding, so I'm seeing what I can get to make my home very inviting and welcoming for everyone. Having all these companies at one center makes it easier for us to just interact.
The exhibitors also have a testimony.
Through the Habitat Fair, we were able to reach as many people as possible.
We have it up to 25% discount on all properties from 2-bedroom and a 5-bedroom as well.
We are basically into high security door locks. We have discount packages that we do give to our clients. So definitely you get a very good deal when you come here.
Let me share with you what head of sales at the Multimedia Group Limited, Max Fuga, has for you.
We have agreed with all our exhibitors that they should be able to offer discounts between 10 and 50% on their products and their goods and services.
Well, don't postpone becoming a homeowner anymore, because this fair will help you solve all your housing needs.
And the opening ceremony will be live on your superstation Joy99.7 FM. But be sure to visit the Accra International Conference Center for all your housing needs from today to November 1. Now, using accelerometers and GPS units can help identify the proportion of daily physical activity. You know, the Ghana Education Service has adopted this device as part of its adolescent nutrition study in schools. But the wearing of the gadgets by primary students to check their physical activity has caused uneasiness among a section of the public. On Tech Thursday, Love FM's Emmanuel Kwesi Deborah takes us through the functions of these gadgets.
For GPS, most of you know what it is. Like the Ghana Post GPS, you can find your location and what have you. What about the accelerometer? So the accelerometer is an electronic sensor that measures the forces acting on an object in order to determine its position and monitor the object's movement. It does so by converting the physical movement into an electrical signal. Technological advancements have seen researchers use easy-to-wear accelerometers and GPS to obtain objective information about physical activity patterns. So, part of the University of Ghana's research focused on evaluating the daily total energy expenditure of the participating students in free living conditions. And that's why they took it to school and their teachers eventually found them and they were afraid. Yeah, they were gripped with fear. Now, I hope you understand why the students wore those contraptions, the accelerometer and GPS. Reporter for Joy News, Emmanuel Kwesi Deborah.
Now, no girls' school has ever won the National Science and Maths Quiz title since its inception in 1993, and every year, NSMQ enthusiasts continue to hope that it will happen after more than 20 years. Archbishop Porter Girls Senior High School, in some minutes, will face off competition from Takrady Senior High School and Bompe Senior Technical High School. Here's a report by Maxwell Agbagba.
Throughout the contest, we realized that it's not just about saying it, it's much more about working harder to get the points. And we've realized our mistakes. Okay. Expect the very best from us. We'll go back. Yes.
Okay, is Archbishop Porter Girls going to break the genes of a girls' school not winning the competition ever after 2 decades?
Okay, so it depends on our perseverance and our hard work. So if we put in much effort, we believe by the grace of God that we'll be able to break that.
Okay, so should we expect that?
Well, yeah, more or less.
Maxwell Agbagba is at the University of Cape Coast where the preliminary contests are taking place. Maxwell, bring us up to speed on what's happening there.
Well, I can start right down that the first contest is going on. That's between St. John's Grammar.
Unfortunately, we seem to have lost Maxwell Agbagba there. But let's turn our attention to Tamale, where this afternoon defending champions of the Upper West Regional Qualifiers, St. Francis Xavier, have announced their return to the national competition with an emphatic win over Zebila SHS and Jirapa SHS. Manuel Coranting is there for us. Manuel, bring us up to speed on what's happening.
So the very first contest for the day ended just a short while ago. St. Francis Xavier Minor Seminary won by 68 points, followed at a distance second position by Jirapa SHS with 16 points and Zebila SHS with 8 points. So remember that last year St. Francis Xavier could not proceed to the quarterfinal stage because it was kicked out by GSTS at the 1-8 stage. This year, they are hoping to make it all the way to the grand finale like they did in 2014.
All right, many thanks, Manuel, with that update from Tamale. And the National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service. The broadcast is by Joy News and supported by Cowbell, Papa's Pizza, Ace Medical Insurance, Dole Yogurt, DBS Roofing Sheets, and Tampico. And before you go, as of November 1 this year, WhatsApp will stop working on a number of devices due to their obsolete operating systems. Certain systems will no longer be supported by the app, and future updates will no longer be available to them. There are 53 models, but Mapito Sibide is here to give us a list and details of all of this. Mapito, let's start with Apple products.
All right, so with Apple products, it's iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, iPhone SE, and when it comes to LG, it's Lucid 2, Optimus F7, Optimus F5, Optimus L3 2.
So if you have any of those phones, be warned. What about Samsung and Huawei?
All right, with Samsung, these are the models affected: Galaxy S2, Galaxy S3, Mini Galaxy, and the Huawei models affected are Ascend G740, Ascend Mate, Ascend D Quad XL. Now, if you have any of these devices, the solution is to first back up your messages and then purchase a new smartphone and restore your chat history. But you can also go to myjoyonline.com for the full list.
All right, many thanks, Mapito, with those details. And that's how we draw the curtain on the midday news. Our top story: as the recruitment exercise for the Immigration Service comes to an end today, we asked what the fate of the thousands who were not successful will be, and we heard from a security expert who warned the country is sitting on a time bomb. Also today, the time to own a home is now, and the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair is making it easy for you to get that home and all accessories at one spot, plus whopping discounts. The fair starts today at the Accra International Conference Center in a few hours. My name is Arba Kumsin. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Have a good afternoon.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Benjamin! Kweku! Nkwadai na wa he. Akwesi.
Auntie Maggie, I don't know what you move from my anopotutu to say.
Pepesa wabua me. Na me de momo no. Emani sika.
Oh, Auntie Maggie Jaisa. Say momo aye easy cra. Obeti me afre wo momo. And no answer over dial 170. That's all. Mami chiro.
Mema wakwaba ba MTN momo.
Hey, na momo yi ayem rese. Na de bia me keke mo friend